so I was told I should ask questions and give away prizes. So maybe the first question, who can tell me what an email bomb is? Back corner over there is the first hand I saw.
So let's say someone's like credit card getting compromised and they go to spend money, the bank tries to email you that your credit card has been used, so the credit actor will sign you up for a bunch of random subscriptions, that way you get your responsibility emails because the notifications from the bank or something like that.
Yep. All right. So email bombs are, there's a variety of motivations, and one of them could be to hide some other terrible behavior. But they are the equivalent of for your inbox. So you get a lot, faster than you can delete them, emails that are going to make your inbox useless. So if this happens to you or it happens to a user on an email system that you run, you're probably going to have a sad day because they want to go away. So what are they for? So I guess here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about email bombs, what they are. When is an email bomb happening? How do we know? And once we have decided an email bomb is happening, that's where some nerdy math will come in, what do we do about that situation? So email bombs, what are they? So this is I stole from MITRE. This is the MITRE attack description of email bombs that flood a target email address with an overwhelming volume of messages, like many more than you could, like you can't hit the delete button fast enough for these people. I mean, here it says hundreds, but like I have you could delete a couple hundred email messages. It wouldn't make you happy, but you could do it. Thousands in short spaces of time that just keep coming, you can't delete. You physically can't delete them fast enough. And so how do you get rid of the problem and get back to business as usual? So email bombs are cover fire for something else. First of all, they could just be general misery and business disruption. And that's a thing, right? For some reason, someone wants to make your life hard, make a point, whatever. Or they could be a fake IT help desk scam, not unheard of. So, right, first I send you an email bomb that says, so now your inbox is inoperable, and then I call you up and say, hi, I'm from the IT department, and we see that your email inbox is broken, and don't you want to let me remote desktop to your computer to help you fix that problem? No, I do not. That sounds like a terrible idea. Or they could hide evidence of an attack like a password reset or a credit card fraud where there's a whole bunch of terribly wrong things, and you get lost worried about digging through your thousands of emails and don't notice that someone has charged $10 bajillion on your credit card, or that they have reset the password to your bank account and are prepared to take out $1 million of loans in your name, or whatever other horrible thing. So in general, email bombs consist of three sort of things they could be part of that I've seen. There's spam. Goodness knows someone could sign you up for a lot of spam. There's gray mail. So someone signs you up for every cat video mailing list on the internet or every poorly secured cybersecurity mailing list on the internet or what have you. And then there's a third category that I'm calling advocacy, which is I rally 100,000 of my internet friends to email you because we're angry about something. Or wish you did something differently. Like, we don't like that your company did X, so we would like to email you and tell you that we think you should change your behavior. Which I get. I want people to change their behavior too. But there is a volume at which that's just denial of service to the recipient. So the thing that makes this problem hard to solve is that many email bombs are legitimate emails that someone might actually want. So filtering them out for everyone is a bad idea, right? I want cybersecurity mailing list emails. but they might be part of an email bomb for my mother. So filtering them out is a bad idea for everyone, but we need to filter them for folks that are having an email bomb because they need their mailboxes to go back to work in a sensible fashion. So when is an email bomb? So then we need to answer the question sort of, is this an email bomb or is this just someone who really likes mailing lists? So the answer to when is an email bomb happening is statistics. Or you could be very cool and call it AI. But I'll be honest with you, it's statistics. So the idea is, so you might say, okay, listen, if you get more than 1,000 emails an hour, then you're getting an email bomb. Except then you think about your support mailbox on a bad day, and now it's getting an email bomb, but actually it's just like an unpleasant Tuesday. So that doesn't work. So instead, you have to compare each mailbox to itself normally. So how do you compare to yourself on a normal day? That's where the statistics comes in. So we model normal for a mailbox with the distribution. How often do I see, 10 emails in a half an hour? Looks like the answer is slightly more than 1% of the time. How often do I see 20 emails in a half an hour, et cetera? And then that lets us quantify how unlikely is this behavior. So how unlikely is it that I will see maybe 48 or more emails in a half an hour? And, well, that's how likely is it that I will see 48 or 49 or 50 and so on, add them all up, going all the way off to the right forever and ever and ever. So if SAT1 is fresh in your mind, I have just described a right-tailed p-value to you. If SAT1 is not fresh in your mind, that's fine. I just described adding up some probabilities to get the probability that it's this bigger. That's also cool. So, but now that lets me say, how likely is it that I'm going to get this much email, right, or more? How surprised should I be by the current state of affairs? And that's sort of the number we want to quantify, because then if this is a high-volume mailbox, I'm going to be a lot less surprised by 50 emails than if this is a mailbox that gets 2 emails a day. Then I'm going to be a lot more surprised. So I want to build this model separately for each inbox. So the advantages of statistical models like the one I just described, they're fast and cheap. And if I want to build one for every mailbox, it better be fast and cheap. Or else whoever pays the AWS bill or the Azure bill or the Google Cloud bill is going to hate my guts. And I spend enough time making those people mad at me. So they're fast and cheap. All I need to calculate the parameters for that statistical distribution I was just showing you are mean and variance, which we all can compute. I mean, if you had to do it with a pencil and a piece of paper, you could, and you wouldn't be happy, but you could, right? And databases are well set up to compute mean and variance. It parallelizes nicely if there's a bunch of numbers. This is like, do this in SQL all day long. Inference speed, it's really fast. Once you've counted up your numbers to say, how surprised am I by these numbers? There are some nice mathematical formulas. You won't even notice how long it takes your computer to calculate. The other advantage is that you can control false positive rates. Because if you fit your model well, whatever threshold you pick for email bombs, whatever p-value you pick, is how often it's going to false positive for you, right? How often that will happen under normal behavior. So that lets you say, how much am I willing to put up with in terms of false positives here? And then choose accordingly. The other big advantage is I don't have to have any examples of an email bomb to solve this problem, which is good because they don't happen that often. So it's not like I'm going to have 100,000 examples of an email bomb to use to build this model to be able to recognize when mailboxes are getting bombed and when they are not. All right. I'm going to pause here. Questions so far? Yes?
So, with regards to quantifying the number of emails that a mailbox gets,
Mm-hmm.
have you done any controls for instead modeling for the number of senders or maybe filtering out internal emails?
We'll get back to that. Definitely on filtering out internal emails, like just don't count those. I'll get back to the other one. Yes? Is that a, no, you're just adjusting the camera. All right. So here's a real distribution, mailbox approximately. I mean, you can feel a little sad for this person. Sometimes they get a lot of email. But it's a manageable a lot of email. And then one day they got an email bomb. This is the same distribution zoomed out a lot as was on the last slide. So way over here is what you were looking at before. And then they get an email bomb. Way over here, this many emails all in a short period of time. So these are, like, this is bad. And also, I can't hit the delete button fast enough, right? Like it becomes a multi-week project just to press delete enough. So we need to do something about this problem. All right, so your question was the answer to the other prize. Email volume alone is not enough. Because lots of tickets in a short window produce a lot of false positives. I happen to know this because I caught some poor soul having an incident and getting 1,000 JIRA tickets as I was developing this. And like, I felt sorry for them. They're having a really sad day. But I probably shouldn't just take all the JIRA tickets out of their inbox and make this go away for them. That probably wouldn't be good for their continued employment. So the way to mitigate this is to model distinct senders to mitigate this problem. All the JIRA tickets came from JIRA. They're all the same place. So that's not a bump in how many people are sending you email. But most email bombs are coming from a very wide variety of places. Also, if it's just one sender, you could probably go write some sort of rule to block that sender, send it immediately to trash, and problem solved. God knows I have had folders I've never looked at in my inbox for years that contain tens of thousands of messages. All right. So you have high confidence of an email bomb, right? You've said, all right, I'm really sure. Like, I looked at that distribution, and way out here is how many messages we're getting. This is not normal, not even a little bit. Now what? And the answer is now you can get really, really, really aggressive about dealing with gray mail and spam. So here is an example of an email bomb, fake data, demo data, of a whole bunch of like, congratulations, you've been signed up for this mailing list. Aren't you pleased? And now you can get really aggressive about automatically moving that to spam for the user or otherwise addressing this problem. So our product lets you do that. One of the things we recommend is getting very aggressive about mailing lists, right? Are you getting mailing list things? Are you getting things that are not safe for work? Are you getting social media things all of a sudden? Shunt all of that off to quarantine, trash, spam, whatever you like. Probably the person mid-email bomb is not going to be real upset that you accidentally sent their mailing list item to spam while making everything else go away. All right. We'll pause here. more, so fundamentally, fundamental trick here. You have to know an email bomb is happening to be able to do this, though, because otherwise, the contents of your email bomb might well be something someone wants. and so you can't just always be aggressive. I mean, I guess you could always be aggressive, but that might make your users pretty upset at you. All right. Pause here for more questions. Yeah?
Have you seen where an email bomb is always in the thousands and not, say, like, 500 or 1,000? Something a little more mimicky to possibly regular email usage?
So have I seen, no. Partly because, of course, I wouldn't catch it if it looked like regular email usage, because I've set up a trap designed to catch things that don't look normal. But also, if it looks like regular email usage, then a user can handle that with the delete button.
I mean, I was just thinking if they had, like, say they're getting 1,000 emails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't like it. So, yes. I mean, there's some what do you call a bomb question hidden in there, and that's a judgment call, I guess. I've seen things that some people say are bombs that are smaller, and then I've seen things that no one's going to have an argument that this is an email bomb. And sort of where do you draw the line, and what we decided is sort of how much could you handle this with the delete button? If it's obviously impossible, we need to help you a lot with it, and if it is probably possible, we want to err on the side of not accidentally deleting email you do want, because that also doesn't make people very happy. All right. Any other questions? Yes?
Couldn't the user just, if they have Outlook rules set up where emails go into certain inboxes, they wouldn't get impacted, right? Or they wouldn't notice it?
Maybe. It depends. So if they have Outlook rules set up, they might not notice it. Or they might, it depends. Sometimes there are new, right, if I sign you up for a bunch of new mailing lists, unless those somehow fit the Outlook filters that you have already set up, they will show up in your inbox. So like, it is possible. Last I used Outlook filters, they weren't good enough to be like, never give me any mailing list content. I just like picked out the ways to filter the mailing lists that showed up all the time and sent them off to some other mailbox. But that meant if someone had signed me up for 1,000 new mailing lists, I would have gotten all welcome to my stupid mailing list things. So like, yes, but no is the answer to your question. Any other questions? Yes?
How does this work in non-English languages?
How does this work in non-English languages? So you would need to change the way you look for the bad behavior, for the things that are potentially part of the bomb, to shunt them out. But the total numbers of things happening works just fine, right? Counting works fundamentally the same no matter what language the email is in. So the like how to find out when a bomb is happening works exactly the same. The like what to do about it to remediate would have to be localized to the correct language. Yeah. Yes?
Find an email bomb, is there further consequences or like investigation to this email?
Potentially, yes. If I find an email bomb, there might be further consequences. So, for example, there might be physical security concerns trapped in an advocacy bomb. If people are upset at your company's head for some reason, some of those people might lose their minds and make inappropriate threats, and you're going to want to look at that. There's also, you've just been signed up for 100,000 emails. And probably you need to unsubscribe from 100,000 things. So that's a consequence. There's also the consequences of whatever this email bomb is cover fire for. So someone falls for the fake IT help desk scam, or and allows remote access, or someone's credentials are compromised and they don't notice, like whatever consequences it's cover fire for is also a potential thing. So yes, potentially many, but you have to figure out which one applies in this situation. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you stop, let's say this is like a persistent thing that's happening, not just like a one-off incident, like they have it reoccurring, like maybe every week they re-sign up everyone to the same
Oh
thing.
God, that's awful. That is nefarious. So you will notice that I learned from the past to find out how much email was normal. So I will eventually learn that that is normal. However, it also doesn't fit the kinds of attacks we tend to see here, because what is that cover fire for, right? So I have not seen that particular thing. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And nor do I know how to solve it by learning about what's normal, because eventually it becomes normal. Yeah. Yes.
So a lot of these are subscriptions to random mailing lists that
Yep.
are going to repeat unless you can go through the unsubscribe process
Yep.
or identify as junk. Is there any way to automate that?
I don't have a good one, but let me know if you do. So I agreed to take responsibility for finding email bombs. I didn't agree to take responsibility for all of the long-term consequences. But yeah, I agree that if there's, I mean, if the mailing list is on the up and up, right, there's great unsubscribe tooling. Of course, I don't see this being the mailing lists that are on the up and up, and so you know, sometimes yes, sometimes no, sometimes that's the Outlook rule that got mentioned, right?
It's also really hard when it's in a language you can't read.
Yes, it is very hard when it's in a language you can't read. I agree, for sure. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Well then, thanks very much. Go get in the front of the line for Chick-fil-A.